Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi video. And today I wanted to talk about what is next for the Danmachi series. Now, one thing I wanted to do before I made this video, to be quite honest, was to do a complete season review for Danmachi Season 4. You guys have known that I've been wanting to make that video, but unfortunately, due to some IRL stuff like university submissions and assignments, that's taken a lot of my time. And on top of that, I've been trying to also reread volumes 12 to 14, as well as rewatch Season 4 before I made that video. So unfortunately, that's not gonna happen for another 2 or 3 days at the very least. So I thought instead I would make this video where I talk about what's next for the Danmachi anime. And it's actually in good timing because currently in Japan, the big annual anime event, Anime Japan, is going on right now. This is the period in which big studios come out and actually, promote and reveal their new seasons and their new shows basically. So for example, this weekend, literally I think yesterday, we got the announcement for ReZero Season 3. So there is a very good chance that Danmachi might come out with something in the next day or two as well. So definitely a good time to actually drop this video and talk about what's next. I hope that I've not been late to the party and something's already been announced and this is gonna go up after it, but it'll still be in good fun if that does happen. Now, of course, if you guys going to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi content, and of course, leave a comment down below as well, letting me know what do you guys think is next for the Danmachi series in terms of the anime. What do you guys think will get adapted next? I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Now, the reason why I say I'm asking you guys what you think will get adapted next is because I don't think Danmachi Season 5 is going to happen. I'll be very real and say that I don't think Danmachi Season 5 is going to happen because one thing I've noticed with a lot of these studios and anime, production committees is that whenever we get really close to the source material, they just go on a huge break. They literally just halt the brakes and just stop right there for a while until the author can continuously write his stuff and get quite a bit ahead, in all honesty. So I don't think we're going to be getting Danmachi Season 5 because we're only 4 novels away till the end of the current set of light novels. So that's not going to happen. And the thing is, right, they could just do volume 15 as maybe like a mini season or something in the next year, but I don't think they're gonna do that. I mean, based on volume 8, I don't think they want to adapt these intermission light novels because that's what volume 8 and volume 15 are. They're very much intermission light novels where it takes place after the events of the current arc we're in. So volume 15, which is taking place right after the events of the Juggernaut fight and everything, it's very much what's happening, what's going on with our characters, what are they dealing with, world building, a bit of character development, which is amazing. I would love to see it in anime format because it's necessary. Some of the most important details are actually in those light novels, but for some reason the production committee and JC staff never get around to adapting it. In fact, if we go back to Season 2 when they adapted Volume 8, only 2 episodes were dedicated to Volume 8, and even then it was only a section of Volume 8, which was ridiculous to be quite honest. Volume 8 and Volume 15 on its own could be like half seasons basically. So easily Volume 8 could have been like Season 2.5 and it could have taken place directly in between Seasons 2 and Seasons 3, and it could have been like a 4 to 6 episode season very easily, in all honesty. Same thing with Volume 15, to be quite honest. So I don't think they're gonna do that, in all honesty. So then you have to look at Volume 16 to 18, which is the next big arc, right? And I don't think they're gonna adapt that because that would be pretty much catching up to the end of the light novel. So that's not going to happen. We're not going to get to the end of the current set of light novels. They'll want Omori sensei to write more before we get to that point. So I don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, they have to carry on with the hype train that is Danmachi right now. Yes, it's still not like super mainstream or super popular, but in all honesty, Danmachi has done a brilliant job with this season and getting it in the eyes of a lot of new fans, in all honesty. So if you take a look at AniList, right? You take a look at AniList, 82% average score. I've never seen that for a Danmachi season. I mean, if we go back in time, right? Danmachi Season 4 Part 1 was 77%. Season 3 was 74%. Season 2 must have been a disaster. I think 60%. 71%. Never mind. Fair enough. Season 1, what was that? Let's see. I'm very curious. Season 1 is 73%. So this is the first time Danmachi has gotten into the 80% on AniList. let's go over to My Anime List, which is another extremely popular website, probably the most popular anime website out there, right? 8.26 and is ranked 287 across the platform, which is insane. Now, if we were to go back, let's look at Danmachi Season 4 Part 1, 7.7. Let's look at Danmachi Season 3. I'm very curious to see what it is. 7.46. Very similar scores to AniList already, so you can tell how it is. 7.2 for Danmachi Season 2. And let's look at Danmachi Season 1. If we can have a look at it, 7.55. So yet again, the highest it's ever been. So you have to capitalize on that hype. You have to capitalize on the new fan base you're gaining and start doing more things. Now, the thing is, right, there are a lot of things that Danmachi can do instead of Season 5 still. And we're going to be talking about all the possibilities. Now, for me personally, I think there's 3 possibilities. Now, some may say that there's more possibilities. Of course, you know, some may say XYZ Dan Mimo story. They could do something else entirely. They could do another original movie or something like that, right? But I have 3 things that they could possibly do. Now, one thing they could obviously do is something that came out yesterday as well as part of Anime Japan, and that is from the Danmachi Battle Chronicle Twitter. Now, this is Danmachi Battle Chronicles Twitter, not the official Danmachi Anime Twitter. So I'm going to say that it's very unlikely that this is going to mean anything, but it's still something. So they obviously have these 2 sample posters. Basically, one is from Danmachi Battle Chronicle. The second is, of course, representing the Hestia Familia. The third is a secret thing. They're going to be distributing this out at Anime Japan. So if you are there, I don't know if you live in Japan or if you're taking part in Anime Japan by going to the convention and stuff, but if you are at Anime Japan, there is a secret poster or frame that you will be getting, and if you zoom in and you can see it very, very barely noticeable, this is the Loki Familia. This is the Loki Familia. So there is a possibility that they could be announcing something Sword Oratoria related. Now, for those of you who don't know what happened to the first Sword Oratoria season and why we've never got it, I have a video on Sword Oratoria and why it failed. You can go check that out. It's part of my Danmachi anime playlist, which will be at the end of this video. You can click on it and go watch some of the anime stuff that I've done, including that video. Danmachi Sword Oratoria adapted only volumes 1 to 4. In between then and obviously where the Danmachi main series is right now, there is basically another 6 or 7 volumes they could easily adapt effectively. They literally could adapt 7 of those volumes and they'd still only be just at the Juggernaut fight basically. So they have to adapt volumes 5 to effectively around volumes 10 to 12 effectively. So the thing is, right, I don't think they'll adapt volumes 5 to 8. Maybe. I don't think they'll adapt volumes 5 to 8. Maybe 9 as well. I think 9 as well is unlikely. If they do a Danmachi Sword Oratoria Season 2, I think they're going to start off with Volume 10. Because Volume 10 takes place during the Xenos arc in Danmachi Season 3. Or Volumes 9 to 11 of the main series, effectively, if you've read the light novel. So, this would be a great time for them to start, obviously, adapting Sword Oratoria again. Because, of course, it shows more of an Ai's perspective as well. Because right now, a lot of people are, of course, mad that, Bell and Ai's is still a thing when, Season 4 and Volumes 12 to 14 have shown such a great relationship between Bella and Ryu. To the point where people are questioning why Ai's even has an influence in Bell's life, or why Bell and Ai's is still a thing, right? So I think with Volume 10 onwards, we can see a little bit more from Ai's perspective and how her feelings are towards Bell and their relationship, basically, right? So giving Sword Oratoria 10 the adaptation, first and foremost, for Season 2, I think would work, to be quite honest. I think it would work. So if they adapted, like, say, Volumes 10 to 12, in the next season, and it's another 2-core season, just like how, Danmachi Season 4 was, I think it would be fantastic. I think it would be a great opportunity for JC staff to redeem themselves for the absolute failure of an adaptation that was Sword Oratoria. So it would be perfect. Honestly, I think it would be amazing if they did adapt Volumes 10 to 12. Realistically speaking, I think this would be amazing. I think it would be more likely than Season 5 to 9 being adapted, to be quite honest. Now, the thing is, right, you could say that this is obviously what's going to happen. We're going to get Sword Oratoria 10, and we're going to get Sword Oratoria 11 and 12 adapted, right? Sword Oratoria Season 2 is coming out. Now, I want to say there are 2 more options. one of which is the Argonaut anime adaptation. I think Argonaut is probably one of the best stories, if not the most favorite story, I should say, from everybody in the Danmachi community. Everybody loves the Argonaut story, and I think this would be a great opportunity for them to probably go back in the past and show Bel's ancestor in a and obviously all his glory, I would say. So doing Argonaut, I think, would make a lot of sense as well, because the light novel is also being adapted very, very soon. In fact, I think the light novels is getting adapted later this year. In fact, I'm not sure when exactly, but it is sometime later this year. So them doing the Argonaut anime as well alongside the release of the light novel would be just perfect. It would be honestly perfect, and it would be probably the best story to adapt from Danmimo, to be quite honest. At this point in time, I think it would be the best story for them to adapt. Now, the other option I have is actually a potential semi-sequel. And the reason why I say it's a semi-sequel is because in my eyes it sort of is a semi-sequel. Of course, it doesn't take place right after Arrow of Orion, but it obviously features a massive character from Arrow of Orion in the form of Artemis, and this obviously is the story of Vesta, of course, right? The Vesta story was Danmimo's 4th anniversary, right? And I think it would be the perfect opportunity for them to, you know, sort of do a sequel story to Arrow of Orion, make it maybe like a two-parter movie, potentially, assuming they want to do a movie and they don't want it to be like part of a canonical story, so they don't want to do a TV series on it, but doing maybe a two-parter movie for Vesta, I think it makes sense. I genuinely think it makes sense. Maybe it could be a 3-parter movie, but you guys can let me know, how would you do it? I think a 2-parter movie would be enough, but obviously I think 3-parter movie would be on the safer side of making things everything right and well designed, in all honesty. So there is that factor as well. Now, the thing is, right, I don't think this is extremely likely, to be honest, because Vesta, even though it was really, really liked, I think, by the Danmachi community, I think it is still probably one of the weaker Danmimo anniversaries, to be quite honest. I would say, if I were to rank the Danmimo anniversary stories and my wants for them to be TV adaptations or anime adaptations, I would say Argonaut is first, then I would probably put Astray Record, Knights of Fianna, the 1st anniversary story, and then Vesta probably. Actually, no. I'd put Vesta over the 1st anniversary story. Yeah, I'd put Vesta over the 1st anniversary story. I would say the front 3 are much better options to be anime adaptations. Now, obviously, I don't think Knights of Fianna can happen without Argonaut happening, right? So anyways, if Argonaut happens, then only can Knights of Fianna happen, so that's out of the window. Astray Record has a very good chance. It obviously got its light novel adaptation very recently, right? So it is possible for it to get an adaptation in anime format. I think it's very, very likely, especially considering the surrounding story with Astray Familia for Danmachi Season 4 and Ryu, right? So I think it would make a lot of sense for them to do Astray Record, but for some reason, I don't see it happening at the same time, even though I think it probably is more likelier than Vesta or Argonaut. I don't see it happening for some reason. And I don't know if it's just me, but I just think that it's a little less likely for some reason. I think Argonaut and Vesta is a little bit more likelier to happen. So yeah, that's my personal opinion on what's next for the Danmachi series. I think they have to 100% capitalize on the popularity and the success that Danmachi Season 4 has had, especially with its 2nd part, and they need to carry forward with that. They need to ensure they do a good job with it, because they have to, you know, especially because Season 5 is probably not going to be coming out for another 2 or 2.5, 3 years. I think it's a good opportunity for them to tackle some of the other stories they have readily available. They have a plethora of Danmimo stories. They have a plethora of Sword Oratoria light novels to go through. So it would be a perfect opportunity for them to take one of those stories and just adapt it, because that way you're keeping the series in the eyes of the people, because it's just like a certain magical index and a certain scientific railgun and accelerator, right? When Magical Index wasn't going on, we still got Railgun in the next couple of years after Season 3 came out of Index, right? We got Season 2 and Season 3 of Railgun, if I'm not mistaken. I think I could be wrong on Season 2. I think we definitely got Season 3 of Railgun after Season 3 of Index, and we obviously got Accelerator as well, right? Right after Season 3 of Magical Index. So you had all of these spin-offs for a certain Magical Index coming out. That way you're keeping the, you're keeping the eyes of the viewers on the franchise, and it's the same situation here. Danmachi needs to capitalize on the popularity that it's gotten from this last season and do something with it. They have to do something with it, be it Argonaut, Sword Oratoria, or Vesta. They have to do one of those three, or Australia Record even. They have to do one of those, you know. They have to absolutely do it. And I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious to see what you guys think down below in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and of course, if you want to watch one of my Danmachi anime videos like the Sword Oratoria and why it failed video, you can go check it out. The link should be somewhere here right now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.